The Zephyr of Morning Light. The morning light filtered through the thin white curtains stretched across the bedroom floor, a soft gold hue painting quiet lines across the bed where Leo lay, half awake. He was listening. The faint hum of the shower still echoed down the hall. Water against tile, the sound of morning routine, the sound of Alara beginning her day, the sound of someone you love without needing to say it aloud. When the shower stopped, the silence that followed wasn't empty. It was gentle, expectant, holding the promise of her return. Alara walked in a few minutes later, her dark hair still damp, strands clinging to the curve of her cheek. She was wearing an oversized plaid button-up, unbuttoned, the fabric slipping loosely off one shoulder. The faintly visible lines of her gray bra and the curve of her waist were a silent confession of trust. She looked fresh, human in the most endearing way, the kind of beautiful that didn't need an audience. Only him. Leo looked up from the pillows, one arm folded behind his head. The light caught his eyes, illuminating the deep green of hers as he took her in. "Done getting ready?" he asked, his voice rough from sleep, a low rumble she knew as her moonbear voice. "Almost." She smiled, walking past the bed and settling cross-legged on the floor in front of the TV. "I still have time before I leave." He allowed a faint, knowing smirk to cross his face. "You sure about that, mamas? You've got, 30 minutes?" 40. She corrected him without looking back, already turning on the console. The screen lit up with the familiar sound of her game loading. He watched her in the quiet, the easy way she existed in his space, the way her fingers moved quickly over the controller, how her brows knit slightly when she concentrated, yet her body remained relaxed. There was a little softness at her stomach, a small, real curve that made his appreciation deepen. This was not the fantasy. This was the truth of her, and it made his chest ache in a good way. It was the feeling of falling in love again, not with a future, but with the profound, perfect reality of the present. Alara caught him staring through the reflection on the TV. "What?" she asked softly, eyes still on the screen. "Nothing," he said, letting his smile widen. "Just watching you. I'm just taking note of my butterfly's stillness before she flies off to work." She laughed under her breath, a warm, bright sound. "You're weird, Leo." "Probably," he said, still watching. "But you're the one who moved in with me." That made her pause the game for a second. She turned her head toward him, her smile small, real. "Yeah, guess I'm weird too then." Leo sat up, resting his elbows on his knees, his focus absolute. "You're beautiful, little Chalk," he said quietly, using the name that anchored her to their quiet world. Her cheeks colored faintly. She didn't hide the reaction, but turned her gaze back to the screen. "You already told me that yesterday." "And I meant it yesterday. I mean it today. I'll mean it tomorrow," he said quietly, the words weighted with the memory of promises that had once carried the weight of oceans. After a beat, the gentle current of their established dynamic returned. He teased again, his voice slipping into his usual playful sternness. "You better not be late, though. Don't make me drive you." She gave him a look over her shoulder, that playful mix of affection and mock annoyance he loved. "Relax, old man. I've got time." Leo chuckled and leaned back again. But beneath the comfortable banter, a powerful, wordless language sat between them, the understanding that this easy sharing of morning light and small responsibilities was the most profound expression of their bond. He reached out after a while, resting a hand lightly on her exposed shoulder. She didn't pull away. Instead, she tilted her head, brushing it gently against his hand in acknowledgement, a gesture of absolute surrender and trust. "Hey," she said softly. "Yeah? Thanks for this," she murmured, "for being here, for letting things feel calm, like the Zephyr." He smiled, thumb gently brushing over the fabric near her neck. "Always, this is where I belong." The clock ticked on the wall. Outside, the day kept moving, but inside that small room, time seemed to slow down. It was the rare kind of peace that comes when two people finally stop running from what's true, settling instead into the Zephyr of morning light they created together.